I like the way the main characters dealt with cancer. Clint, he suddenly felt so vulnerable. And Stephen got angry because his mother died from cancer. And he's angry because his best buddy, his best partner, can't do the work he needs. I mean, you wove that through beautifully because it was an internal struggle that also manifested itself in real life. We can't get as much done as I can't my job. These guys are covering for me. It was really wonderful done.
And Clint was the perfect character to do this with. I had a person email me in Ransom Dreams and say, why is he so big? Why is he so perfect? And I went, well, there's a purpose. Because I kind of wanted to show, he puts a lot of stock. He's a wonderful guy, but he puts a lot of stock in his stature and his job and everything physical. And he really needed to see that that's not what really made him who he is.
Yeah, but it was so disheartening for him to realize I'm losing my hair. I can't pass my physical exams anymore. I'm falling asleep in meetings. I can't remember things. What a struggle for him.
And the hair loss is actually alopecia, I think is what it's called, is one of the hardest things that cancer patients deal with. I've heard it over and over again, and I can understand that. I mean, it's a frightening thing to not be in control of your body.
I had to get my hair cut for this job in January, and it was really short. It's grown a couple. Even that short of a haircut, it changes your body image.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's still moaning about it. We're still talking about your hair 4 months later.
This is the first time I brought it up in months.
That's fine.
But I could so relate.
The first time on the air.
Oh, you quit giving me a hard time. That is not true.
Hard time. Who's nicer to you than your husband?
Chris.
Oh.
Dwayne.
Okay. All right, well, let's make it a short list, okay?
Well, so anyway, I could relate to that. Now, we have given all of our copies that we have to give away, but where can people find this? Christian bookstores or other bookstores?
Yes, definitely. Christian bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Borders, they're all carrying it, which I was very excited to find that out.
Great.
You can also find it on Amazon and CBD.
Yeah.
Online.
Now, do you enjoy the promotional part as much as the book signing pictures are fabulous. Do you have as much fun with that as you do the actual sitting at the computer and writing?
I do. I love meeting people. Writing can be a solitary job, that's a great reason to have a writer's group, so you have people that you can get to meet. But I love book signings and I love doing interviews because I get to talk about what God did. And that's the best part of writing a book is you get to the end of it, you get to write the good chapters, and you get to go, yay, look at what God did. And I get to tell people about that and talk about that.
One minor point in the book, not really minor, but the dream that Clint has that ultimately leads to finding the horrible killer. How'd you come up with that idea? Because I'm reading it first, I'm thinking, this is kind of out of left field. Where's this going? And then you let it go for 4 or 5 chapters, and then you bring it back again and say, oh, wait a second, because even the other characters think he's nuts,
right?
And you start to wonder if he really saw these things or he was just kind of hallucinating them.
Well, that dream came from my dad. I'm a military brat, and I say that in the nicest possible way. We lived in Berlin, so I was there. I walked along the wall. I listened to the gunfire. So that's a lot of where that dream came from. I wanted Clint to have a military background. So that dream kind of played into that. And I thought that was a great way to kind of showcase that.
Oh, that's great.
And the way it wove into the plot, though, because ultimately, everybody thinks, what's wrong with this guy? Well, it's just a chemo. It's just chemo brain. It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And that's part of the suspense plot to kind of keep you guessing. Is he right? Is he wrong? And
so, let's don't give it all away.
It did me, though, because I'm thinking, well,
good. See, I did my job.
This is a non sequitur. Oh, no, wait a second. This is really important.
Yeah. You can't put stuff in that's not important in a book, right? Well, one of the overwhelming messages of the book is that God can be trusted. Did you have something personal going on that you were really questioning whether you could trust God?
Yes, actually 2 memories that played over and over in the writing of this book was the first one was attending a friend's funeral after praying for him, for healing for him for 3 years. And that really rocked me to the core. And the book is actually dedicated to Ken and his family, who showed me that even when life doesn't go the way we pray, God can be trusted. And then the other was losing a baby. And that was a very dark time for me. It took me to the end of everything I understood. God, if you love me, why are you letting this happen? God, I don't understand. And that really rocked my world. But then on the other side of it, to see that God brought good from it, that God did good in my heart, to teach me that even when he is silent, he's still there.
So I'm guessing some of the dialogue from Frank and Marilyn and Lucy came from real life. You heard things you heard said at funerals or in hospitals.
They did. The funerals, one of the most painful memories that I had was at the funeral watching Gayla, Ken's widow, walk by me, and I was holding hands with my husband, and I felt so sorry, but she looked at me and she smiled. And I went, how did you do that? And she said, God gave me the grace, and he'll give you the grace if you listen to him and trust him.
Wow. In 1 minute, how did you meet your husband, David?
David and I
So you can do that 30
met.
seconds.
Yeah, David and I met interviewing to be missionaries. I was 24 and all my friends had gotten married, and I thought I was going to be an old maid missionary, and I apologize. I was not thinking
we don't
right
call
at
them
24
old maids anymore.
But that was my thinking, and it was obviously very flawed. So I went there, and he was the second person I met, and I looked at him and I went, God, that's not why I'm here. And God just laughed.
And so that's the man you're going to marry, huh?
Exactly.
In the book, Hannah's thinking she's going to be an old maid, but obviously in the third installment of the Defenders of Hope series, we realize she's not going to be an old maid. So,
hopefully.
You're already giving the third book away.
Well, we gave away 5 of these. Come on.
No, I mean, you're giving the plot away.
Oh, no. Well, here's what really happens in the book. And so the snipers, and well, no. It's a good book.
But it will keep you on the edge of your seat. You will not be able to put it down. It's fun and it's interesting. So go get a copy of Healing
But it's
Promises.
not a chick book. It's not just a chick book, guys. Don't worry. It's not just a chick book. You'll like it.
Healing
There's some shooting. There's
Promises
some
by
action.
Amy Wallace. So enjoy it. And Amy, thanks so much for being with us. This was a lot of fun. And thanks for the chocolate.
You're welcome.
More of Mornings when
And
we
thanks
come
for
back.
watching. Yeah.